G'day gang, Twitch here from Creep Designs, and today I'm working on a customer's piece. I had a whole speech lined up and my phone stopped recording. Anyway, starting off as always by giving it a good wash with Carts and Millie Clean Cut, just sprinkling a little bit of it into a bowl of warm water. Once I'm done going over the entire piece inside and out with Clean Cut, I then go in with clean water and a clean rag and clean off any residue that might be left from the Clean Cut. I also use the cleaning process as a chance to go through all the details of it and check for any repairs that might need to be done. Even if you're not bothering to paint or stain the inside of a piece, it's always good to give it a really good clean inside because it can help get rid of any musty odours. I was going to just go in around the glass with a fine detail brush, but I decided to use my sleek tape instead, and I'm glad I did. It saved a lot of time and a lot of stuffing around with a little brush. I was a little concerned that the tape might take some of the coating off of the old lead around the glass, but it wasn't a problem at all. It took nothing off. Using a wider sleek tape to cover the handles. The handles are staying, and because they're so old I don't want to take them off to make my job easier and risk breaking anything or not being able to put anything back on properly, so instead I'm just covering the handles. Going in with a piece of 240 grit sleek sandpaper, just one of the sanding discs to go over the entire piece with a little bit of a scuff sand to get rid of any glossy surfaces. Once I've completely scuff sanded, I just go in with my misting bottle and a clean rag and use that to clean off any sanding dust. Now that that's done, I'm going in with some more tape, and when I'm doing edges like this, I'd like to just kind of wiggle the tape into the crevice and lift it up. I'll be using Carts and Millie Boutique mineral paint in chalk mineral paint in the colour Black Bear. And because I'm not taking any of the hardware off, I'm using these small artist brushes to go in and around all of the hardware. It sounds like it'd be finicky and a pain, but it was actually kind of relaxing and I enjoyed it. And I'd rather do this than risk damaging the hardware. Going in with a bigger brush and starting off with a 25mm sleek brush. Moving on to a much larger sleek brush in the 63mm size for the front of the doors. And that's my husband flashing the downstairs light from upstairs to let me know dinner's ready. Alright, so now that she's all painted up and looking swanky, there is, I should have done the top first, but there is a considerable amount of scratches in the top, and there's a chunk missing on the end here that I've started scraping at just to see how it goes. My customer wants the top and the inside of the cupboards left as wood, but I would not be happy to send it back to my customer like this. So I've procured myself a new nifty little tool. This is called a Carbide Scraper, and some of my YouTube friends have been using these and swear by them and think they're the best thing ever. So I made a pit stop at the tool shop this morning and got myself one of these little bad boys. So I'm going to put this to the test and see how it goes. Now, I'm not going to try to pretend to be any kind of expert with this, as this was my first time using it. I did, however, find that it was actually better to not put too much pressure on it, and to get try and get the angle right. You kind of want to change the angle depending on what kind of surface you're working on, or near an edge or something like that. I found that the finish towards the back closest to the mirror was harder to scrape off because it had probably had less wear, I don't know. But I didn't realise at this point, but I wasn't actually taking enough of the finish off, so I should have actually taken off a lot more than what I was taking off here. But all in all, it was actually a really cool tool to use. I decided not to scrape the edges because they've got like a striped pattern in it, and I thought that might have been part of the veneer, but by the looks of it, it's actually been painted on or stained on like the pattern itself. So I didn't want to damage that, so I just ran the 400 grit sandpaper over it. As usual, I'm using C&M Satin Top Coat, giving it a good shake always, just to make sure you get anything that's settled off the bottom of the bottle. And I think I was using a 63mm sleek brush here. I'm not overly particular with my brush strokes when applying the first couple of coats, but on the final coat I'll try to do long even coats, long even strokes without stopping and starting, and try and finish them all going in the same direction. That way when the light hits it, you won't have quite as many brush strokes, or it won't show as uneven when the light hits it. I'm hoping you understand what I mean. By this point I'd realised that I needed to redo the top again, so this is all of the top coat that I've just scraped off again. And I'm using the Carts and Millie Prep Mate 2 Orbital sander. This is going to be great for this surface because I can use the foam interface pad on it so that I can, it helps to regulate the pressure that I'm putting on the veneer surface to prevent any kind of gouging or overworking this. Oversanding the veneer surface might happen. I don't know if I worded that properly. Oh well. I think I need to write notes. I think I used 240 grit sandpaper. You can get all of this sandpaper and the interface pad and the sander on the Carts and Millie website. I will put the link in the description for everything. I started off on 4-speed just to see how it would go, and then I think I knocked it up to 6-speed. But as you can see, worked absolutely perfectly on this surface and was perfect on the edges. Highly recommend it for working on veneer surfaces. I think I've said it before, but I will be doing a standalone video of the Orbital sander and my review and what I think of it. It is coming, I promise. Dusting out the insides of the cupboards before I wax just to get rid of any sawdust from the sanding, and then going in with a Garver brush, I think, can never remember, and Carts and Millie Boutique Hemp Salve. This hemp salve is all natural, relatively odorless, so you don't have any strong odors in it, and it is amazing to use, silky and great at restoring and refreshing old dry wood surfaces. Don't do this at home, kids. Using a little bit of Rub and Buff Gold Leaf wax on the hardware. As I didn't remove it, I couldn't really clean them up too well. Didn't want to change the look of them overall like too much, so just rubbing a little bit of Rub and Buff on kind of livens them up a bit and makes them look a bit fresher and brighter. Before I put the finished photos up, I just want to say a quick thank you to the people who have brought me coffees since the last video. I want to say thank you to Ida, Taryn from Elegant Upgrades. I will put a link to her YouTube channel in the description. Angela Dixon, Elaine Frank, and thank you for your beautiful message. Jacqueline and Lisa Swayhoover. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. I get so excited when I see that little icon come up for the Buy Me a Coffee website. If anyone wants to buy me a coffee, I'll give you a shout out. I don't have much more to offer you, I'm sorry, but your support and you buying me coffees or supporting me in any way does help me continue to do what I am doing. This piece was absolutely awesome to work on. I really enjoyed doing it and I want to do more pieces like this in the future. I've got it covered up to protect it from chickens until it goes back to its home. Don't forget to subscribe and share and comment and like and do all of that business. All of it helps, and thanks for watching.